Alright, I'd like to call the May 5th, 2025. City Council meeting of Mount Angel to order. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Councilor Eager. Here.
Councilor Astorga,
Here.
Councilor Donahue is absent. Councilor Ott is absent. Councilor Hooper.
Here.
Councilor Black.
Here.
Councilor Morales Sandoval.
Here.
Mayor Dow.
Here. First agenda item is we have some correspondence. It's a letter to the council. It is a request to remove the bathtub in the Sawfield house to install cabinets to create needed storage for the society's supplies. There is a photo attached. Bill, do you want to take 3 minutes and talk about your letter?
Sure. I'm here on behalf of the Mount Angel Historical Society. I'm Bill Creedy, president. And we've been going great guns over there. We've been getting a lot more donations and such. And archiving and digitizing a lot more stuff. And as that goes on, we look for more storage that we can generate in the house. To keep stuff out of the display area. And one thought we had is to remove the tub. You can see the picture there. The bathroom had been remodeled at some point. I don't know what year, but obviously it's not original. Remove the tub and replace the tub with some cabinets. To store our items, vacuum cleaners, brooms, archiving supplies, just all kinds of miscellaneous things that we need more storage for. You'll notice there's on the left-hand side, there's a little stub wall that's probably put in there to accommodate the tub. We'd like to remove that wall, maybe another 6 inches or so. Plug off the plumbing, of course, remove the fixtures. And put a cabinet, approximately 84 inches tall, I think is how we measured it, but all the way to the floor, so it's easy to get vacuum cleaner in and stuff without having to lift it, of course, so. That's pretty much it. We need the storage. To eliminate a lot of the stuff actually that's in the kitchen, because eventually we'd like to use the kitchen for more display. But right now, obviously, we're using the shelves to store a lot of items that would need to be out there to create display.
Excellent, so the only question I had was it a council vote necessary or was it a city manager, but you know, I would like to put an item under new business to discuss this. At 11C Colby.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't seem easy enough. Thank you, Bill. Next, we have a proclamation. This is proclamation. Is there anything you'd like to say, Police Chief Daniel, before I read it?
No, please, Glenn.
Okay. I'd like to say that whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week, and whereas the members of law enforcement agency of Mount Angel Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of Mount Angel. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the Mount Angel Police Department has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service. Now therefore, I, Joseph Bao, Mayor, call upon all citizens of Mount Angel and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 11th through May 17th as Police Week in Mount Angel, and ask all residents to commemorate police officers past and present who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in doing so have established for themselves an inviolable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon citizens of Mount Angel to observe May 15th, 2025 as Peace Officers Memorial Day to honor those peace officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives or become disabled in the performance of duty. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Mount Angel to be affixed this 5th day of May 2025. Colby, appearance of interested citizens.
I do have some tonight. Let's see, first person, turned in a council testimony forum today. Maria, are you online?
I am.
Okay, thank you. And this is the handout that I gave everybody prior to the meeting, the council testimony form that we had.
Maria, are you ready for your 3 minutes?
Yes.
All right, take it away.
So my name is Maria Sanaroff. I'm a resident of Mount Angel, and I just wanted to bring up the issue of the flies on the northeast side of town as a topic for the city council to possibly address. I spoke with Tara this last week, and she did share that the fly issue has been brought up before and discussed. Not sure if it's ever been investigated or the type of fly or the source of fly has been figured out. I did do a little of my own research. I caught a couple of flies and went to the Marion County Vector website. And I think the fly type looks like it matches with the packet that I submitted. And so I'm just asking if it's something that the city can allocate some funds and times to do a formal testing investigation of what the source is and see if something can be done about it. They are quite a nuisance. It seems like they came on early this year, and I feel like it's probably going to be a bad fly year. When we lived on the other side of town by the Abbey, it really was never a problem. I never noticed flies. But since we've moved to this side of town, from the first, almost the first week we were here, they showed up, and they just kind of come on around April, May, and they stick around through October until it gets really cold. So I submitted that, did a little research, and just hoping the city council might look into it deeper and do something about it. That's it.
It is, Maria, can you read your address for the record, please? Yeah, I know it's on the testimony for, but.
Yep, 945 Reagan Street.
All right, thank you, Maria.
Yep, thank you.
Next, let's see, next to speak would be Bev, and your last name again, Weisenfels?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I'm writing in regards to the February 2025 City Council minutes regarding 290 Auto Street. After reviewing the minutes, I believe key information has been misrepresented by the chief of police city administrator. The overlapping of these two roles has caused confusion, not just in communication, but in accountability. And in this case, it appears to be enabling misuse of authority. The decision to block off Auto Street has a direct negative impact on the residents' ability to access their home. City officials are now attempting to reframe this as city property, which raises serious concern about the rights of homeowners. This isn't a bureaucratic change, it's affecting rural people's daily lives. To my knowledge, there is a legal process that must be followed to block off a public street, temporarily or permanently. Based on what we've seen, that has not been followed at all. Compounding this is a lack of communication. No information was given to the homeowner before this was done, nor were her questions answered after the fact. This has left the homeowner frustrated and uninformed. Several statements on the February 2025 minutes are inaccurate. For example, the city council referenced multiple CAD calls to justify the installment of the bullards. Yet none of these calls are related to 290 Auto Street. Ironically, one of the residents now affected was the same person who repeatedly reported a problematic RV that remained on the street for 3 years without any action from the city. Using these calls now as a reason for the bullards is misleading at best. Parking has become an ongoing problem. Residents and their families are forced to park a block away during holidays and gatherings, disrupting normal life and making it difficult to host guests. The white truck that was tagged for towing adds another layer of concern. That vehicle belonged to the previous owner. If the city tagged it, the city should have removed it. Instead, responsibility was shifted onto the current resident, placing her in a difficult and unfair position. The city's CAD records also refers to Hugo both as current and former resident, which only adds to the perception that this situation may involve personal motives or retaliation. The claim that a pickup truck could damage water lines while the city's own heavy equipment does not strain credibility. Our family has parked on Auto Street for over 20 years without issue. Meanwhile, the bullards make it impossible for emergency vehicles to reach the property quickly in case of a fire or medical emergency. With parking restricted on both sides of the street, access is further compromised. On top of all this, limiting access to 290 Auto Street has significantly reduced the property's value. This isn't just about convenience, it's about financial impact as well.
Okay,
Is it,
I gotta stop you right there.
okay. Then I'll just leave the rest of it. Let you guys hear more copies of it.
Excuse me, I didn't look Colby.
There's a few copies there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bev. Anyone else, Colby?
No, nobody else has signed up.
Excellent. All right, thank you. We'll be moving on to reviewing the accounts payable. I'll go around the room, see if anyone has any questions. Counselor Sorga.
None.
Counselor Hofer.
I'm good.
Counselor Heater.
I'm good.
Counselor Black.
No questions.
I. have None as well. Other than how much OJ charges us to read the report that we all had to read for free.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh. Were there any? Hold on, let me get the. Yeah, variance. So I think we also need to discuss before we look at the Q3. Oh, no, we're good, sorry. And then we also have the Q3 revenue or general ledger report, excuse me. Were there any questions on that?
Yeah,
Yeah. Counselor Black.
on the fund summary, just so I know what I'm looking at. We have your period actual, year-to-date actual, and then the budget. Is that budget an annual budget or is it year-to-date budget?
That is the annual budget.
Counselor Eater? Counselor Elbert? Counselor Story?
Good.
I have one question, Ms. Tara. Under, let's see, packet page 11, first page of your general fund, revenue capital outlay, year to date actual was 20,000, the budget was 0. So what was the 20,000 that we weren't expecting?
Marion County Prosperity Initiative, at the time of the budget, we weren't sure that it was supposed to sunset last year, and then they decided to extend it,
Or,
so we didn't budget for it.
I am, let's see here. Moving on to last meeting's minutes. I'm just gonna open it to the floor. Did anyone have any corrections, concerns on the council meeting minutes? Okay. Hearing none, let's go on to the budget meeting minutes. Again, any corrections? Council President Eater.
Yes, so it is stated that Council President Eater turned the meeting over to Budget Committee member Christie Brackenridge. So should not be.
Apologies.
I've made corrections, in the final minutes tonight, I brought that correction that was brought to my attention this morning. There's one other as well. It was marked being absent that meeting, he was marked as here on the roll call and he was absent.
Perfect. Any other corrections, councilors? Hearing none, I would take a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is the city council meeting minutes for April 2nd and the budget committee meeting minutes of April 24th.
I move to approve the city council meeting minutes and the budget committee meeting minutes as written. Or as amended, excuse me.
Second. Motion by Councilor Storer, seconded by Council President Eater. Roll call please.
Councilor Bullock.
Aye.
Councilor Eager,
Aye.
Councilor Hooper,
Aye.
Councilor Astorga,
Aye.
Councilor Donahue is absent, Councilor Hawk is absent, Mayor Powell.
Aye. Moving on to department reports. Who would like to discuss? Or is there anything to discuss? You're just looking for questions.
It's presented in the same manner as the previous items. So you choose to ask any questions, staff is certainly here to answer any of the questions. Yeah, make them up.
Perfect. Councilor Black, any questions on the quarterly reports?
I have none.
Can do that. Counselor? Counselor? All right, I have two comments. One is, I would like to put into the record that $2 million of grants have been received in the last 4 years. That's impressive and something that we continue to strive for, and I think that not enough people know about that here in town. The other thing, as it relates to the budget, which I think we're gonna see next month, is that when council sees the budget? Is in relation to staffing for the library and how much we can potentially afford to overlap a new library director with our current library director to make things as seamless as possible. Those are my only two comments that I saw in the quarterly reports. Moving on, we are on number 10. OHA approval of the water master plan.
So we did not complete a cap for this. I just wanted to bring this certainly to council's attention that as you can see, we have included in the packet the copy of the letter that we received from OHA approving our water master plan without any recommended changes.
Pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of staff, very proud of our relationship with our city engineer, very proud of the process that we went through to create this master plan. Something that hasn't been done in quite a while, and for them to make no recommended changes, I think is pretty cool. And so I would just like to hear from council, because we still have yet to ratify and adopt fully the water master plan. The plan was to have OHA approve it first, and then make any changes if they made recommendations for changes. So having none, when would council like to entertain the approval of the water master plan?
Do you need approve it before our next scheduled meeting?
No.
Then let's bring it to the next scheduled meeting. Yeah, any other ideas?
Does that have to be in a resolution or is that?
We will likely do some type of resolution. Yeah, we'll look back to when we adopted the last one and make sure that we're consistent with adoption. But yeah, we will have the appropriate paperwork prepared
Do you
for
have something that'll read the floppy disk?
I think it's on microfiche.
Sorry, Mark.
okay. But that's why we brought this letter to council tonight, so we can have that discussion.
Awesome. Well, excellent job to everybody involved to get basically a clean slate from OHA is very impressive. Moving on to new, so we will have that at the next meeting then.
We will, yeah.
Okay. New business, wastewater lagoon dredging.
Yeah, so this is just to update the council, after consideration of various disposal options. Landfilling has been determined to be the most suitable method for the disposal of sludge from the primary lagoon at this time, based upon recent data, projects similar in size and scope. It is estimated that the project will cost approximately $2.6 million. This does not include contingencies. Accordingly, it is recommended that the city budget an additional 20% for contingencies for the total budget of 3.2 million.
Any questions from Kevin?
Plenty. How did they come up with 6.1%?
For the percentage,
For your percentages, because that's kind of high. I've never seen them ever that high.
it was, according to the, where they took the samples, I believe.
Because
What page is the
My-
6%?
6.1% is on page, well, that's your average percentage of solids by weight. What I'm wondering is that's with them dewatering it? That's what it dredged, correct?
Well, I don't know that for sure.
Because on the first page, your total solids is 1.8%, which is, that means that you're taking your sample out of the drink and throwing it right onto your burner. And that's 1. So if you have 100 gallons of it, 1.8 gallons of it's gonna be actual sludge. So 100 pounds versus 1.8 pounds.
So look up above, Tony, it's over 50, it's the average of actually over 50 locations.
Right.
And they're anywhere from about 4 inches to almost 3 feet deep.
And so are we gonna, that's what we're gonna be hauling off, is that 7%? We can't get it any drier.
Well, yeah, and then I think on the last page, it tells what the estimated tonnage is, and,
Oh, I saw that.
yeah,
What they have no,
27 tons.
there's no plan other than they just gonna dredge it into a tanker and haul it
They're gonna de-water it on site.
with what? Belt press or?
Belt probably, that's undetermined right now, but that's,
That's why I'm wondering, that's, cause at 7%, you should be getting like 18, 20, 23%. At 7%, that's gonna cost us a lot of money to haul.
well, it's all added in, to the 3.2, that's their estimate.
So I'm gonna derail and cut this off a little short. Cause ultimately, this is just a
It's-
research document on what the best way to get rid of it is. They have not put up the project parameters, so ultimately the contract documents with specifications of actually doing the work. That's when we'll get into those details.
Right.
That's correct, because
Just wanted to make sure that they understood that, because
yeah, well, and they're gonna be looking, obviously, before we go out to bid for this project. We'll be putting all the parameters in there, and we'll have a much better idea of exactly the process and how it's going to work. It's still relatively new, but, based on where the city's at, we've had these conversations as late as last week. We're not prepared to put this to bid just yet. But we wanted to make sure that the council was aware of where we are. And that we are in really a very good place right now, until such time as we have sufficient funds, and I think we will soon. To be able to put this to bid and make it happen.
Now, one of the other questions is land application versus landfill. Is there a reason why we're going with landfill versus land application? Because land application is actually way cheaper.
Well, it actually talks about that in here, and it's only, I mean, it's like.
Which landfill they going to?
Cotton View.
Yeah,
It
so,
it wasn't significantly
It wasn't.
cheaper to,
It's gotta be a lot cheaper to go to somebody's field than travel all the way to Fort Vallis.
well, they did that study, and it's in here, it wasn't much at all different.
I think we're also in a situation where. If it was just what we think it is, we could probably landify it a lot easier, but considering what I think you will actually find there, we may have further issues.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Based on what they found.
but I mean, you're struck at 50 miles, where you can maybe go 5 miles. There's
That
gonna
is-
be a cost savings.
That is, if the product is in fact, safe, we don't have to mine out other things. Because currently, as we all know, whatever's in the system goes through the system into the emaciator and gets chewed up. We're not filtering out all of the foreign objects and foreign things that go along with it into the sludge.
The bowling balls and the bikes and.
So.
Yeah.
Let's not go into specifics, please.
I'm staying way up here.
I was talking to Council President Heater.
Very well.
On page 56 on 4.5, removal and disposal recommendations, it does say the EPA actually recommends land application as the preferred method of disposal due to the environmental benefits it provides and the reduction of the volume of material that needs to be disposed of in landfills. However, concern has been raised about the availability of farmland in the area, given that many landowners in the area are under contract with the city of Salem for their biosolids management program. The sludge is also of unknown quality. The wastewater treatment plant headworks includes macerators, which will contribute to plastic particles being present in sludge.
Remind me when we did our budget meeting, the total price with the 20% contingency was what we had put into that account for this coming year, correct? Or are we still short?
we have 2.75 million. So we don't have anything for contingency yet,
Okay.
but we're hoping to do it next summer so that we use the 2.75 million in this fiscal year, and then we have next fiscal year after that to. We have the whole current fiscal year for the sewer fund to generate revenue and use that then to finish off.
I mean, I guess if other cities have tried and failed because of what is in there, then. I guess I'm fine.
As long as you meet the vector control and your volatile reduction, we'll take it. And it just depends on your metals and cyanides too. But, there's fields in Jefferson that'll take it, there's fields in McNary, McKay, they'll take it. The farmers actually named McKay and McNary. And they have 4,000 acres just outside of Kaiser.
Okay. Alright,
Can I ask about the 20% contingency? Is that a best practice number or? My thought was maybe just increase the prices through time, but why 20%?
so. 20% is what I carry on projects of this size. When I'm not sure what the final method's gonna be, when I don't know enough of the specifics yet. And when I don't have detailed specifications, in my case drawings. That is actually kind of an industry standard. Now, when they get to the point where they've finished their testing, they've got a scope of work. And they have specifications around what it takes to fully accomplish that scope of work. Then they can start dialing it to 15, and then by the time they get a bid, they should still carry about 10. That's the practices I use. That's if somebody came and said, Joe, what do you think we should carry? That's what I would tell Mark and Alan.
Thank you.
And I know it's what Civil West carries elsewhere on other projects. Alright, well, thank you. I know you guys are gonna keep working on it. We don't need a second guessing the engineers the whole way, but thank you for updating us. Next, wastewater facilities master planning. It's on packet page 59. Another one for you.
Okay, the city's wastewater system has historically met the city's needs and maintained regulatory compliance. To ensure that the city can continue to meet the needs of its residents, a comprehensive review of the wastewater facility should be completed to identify deficiencies and plan for future community needs. The purpose of this project is to provide the city with a planning document which determines the required capabilities of the wastewater system, identifies current or anticipated deficiencies relative to those requirements, reviews alternative approaches for correcting deficiencies, and develops a capital improvement for the system. The CIP will recommend specific alternatives based on a matrix of cost and non-cost metrics, and when those projects should be completed. The document will be submitted for review and approval by the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality. City staff recommends entering into an agreement with Civil West to renew the wastewater facilities master plan. And the financial impact, that is wrong. So it's actually 2,626. What is it?
206,000.
Yeah, I'm sorry, $206,626. The mapping, I added that mapping in twice, because we got options in here, so I included those options in there, but I added in twice.
Well, you included both options.
Yeah.
Copy. Any questions, Counselor Storga?
Nope.
No. Council President Eater. Counselor Black. I guess my only question would be is you guys have successfully finished one master plan. You do have two engineers that you are able to choose from if you wanted to, but I'm taking this presentation as. Very successful first master plan, everything's working well, there's no reason to investigate further. They're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Excellent. So. I will then entertain a motion on. Entering this agreement. Actually, I have one last question. Is this aligned, so at one point in time, Civil West kind of gave us an overview, I think it was like all 5 master plans at once. This was like towards the end of last year, is this like close to an alignment to what we saw when we saw kind of the full package?
I believe so. I can get back to you on that.
I mean, it's gonna be plus or minus a few percent, but it's generally in line, so as we budgeted to get all, I think, 5 master plans done. We're still in alignment to be able to accomplish that,
Hope so.
okay? Okay, now I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agreement with Civil West to renew the wastewater facilities master plan.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Counselor Hofer and a second from Counselor Storga. Can I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Bullock.
Aye.
Counselor Peter.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Storga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue is absent. Mayor Powell.
Aye. Moving on to city managers
Can
report.
I bring one more thing on this?
Oh, yeah.
I need the information only.
Oh, there's a small X beside the motion. It didn't quite,
Didn't make any box.
But the X made it in the information.
I will work on formatting with.
I was just pointing that out.
I do recall that we added one other thing to new business that I added. And that was whether or not we needed to make a motion to allow for the removal of the non-original bathtub from the Sawfield House to assist the Mount Angel Historic Society in their storage needs within the facility that the city ultimately owns. Any questions on that weren't covered by Mr. Lincready?
We have to,
I don't know if we need to or not, but in case we need to, let's do it. And then if you need it from us, you have it. Mr. Daniel.
Sorry, unfortunately, I wasn't listening to everything that you just said.
You mean any of it? No.
No, I heard what you were saying, but I didn't commit it to memory. So the reason is, Tara and I have been communicating about this. She's been trying to send me the lease so that I could review it. Unfortunately, it hasn't made it through
Oh,
wherever it goes.
do you want me to read the maintenance and repair section?
Or is it easier if we just make a motion to give Mark permission to let them do it if we so choose, and then if he doesn't need it, he has it, and if he needs it, he has it?
Yeah, there's nothing requiring a motion.
Oh,
we'll let Mark do that.
sounds good. Does anybody have any issue with this?
And that's my number one concern. That's why I asked, Bill said, can you do it? And I said, well, I would like to take this to council because I don't live here. I represent the city, but you represent the city from the people who live here. So if you had any concerns about removing that bathtub and changing that building, I would want to hear it from you as opposed to me just make the decision in a vacuum.
So, does anybody have an issue with moving the non-original bathtub?
The only thing I would say, if you're gonna cap the plumbing, hope you don't just cap it inside the wall, maybe you should cap it from the source underneath.
We would go under.
Wherever, yeah, okay,
Yes,
that'd be my concern.
absolutely, yes. No, it's not inside the wall.
So if
You know,
you
we're in the house.
it'd be easy to do,
Yeah,
To be,
but that'd be the wrong thing to do.
well, that wall's gonna be removed, so pipes inside there would have to be removed, so they could go under the house.
Unless they're in the other wall.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's for
the exterior, well, yeah, I don't,
No,
anyway, you know what to do.
they would, yeah, no worries there.
That's the wall spurred out in order to get the plumbing up in there.
Might have an elbow at the bottom.
Any other questions or issues?
my question would be, if they remove the bathtub, remove the kitchen, we're gonna call it the Sawfield House, or we're gonna call it the historical society building. Well, they donated a house or something, I don't know, I'm throwing a question out, I wasn't around when they donated a house, and what the purpose was.
So at some point, I highly suggest you do what I did one day, and that's walk in there and let Bill. Take you on a guided conversation as to how they got there. But yes, essentially it is to act as a historical society and it is, we're not putting it up for rent. It is leased to the historic society for that purpose and.
Zoning would allow it to be lived in.
Well, and ultimately, I must say, the majority of what has allowed the Softfield House to become an asset really at all from where it was is because of the fundraising and the work that the Historic Society has put into the facility. So.
But was,
I don't think they're removing the kitchen, they just want to use it.
I just throw it out as an example.
If I could speak to that, obviously, we're not removing the bathroom. You need a toilet in the sink. There is no hot water in the house, there was no hot water heater when we moved in. But when we restored the house, we did wire under the sink in the bathroom. At some point, we're gonna get a small hot water heater, so we will have hot water. The kitchen is not functional. When they restored it, apparently the water from the sink was draining out into the backyard. So that's all been disconnected. So the kitchen will remain looking like a kitchen with some, the countertops have all been, formica has been ripped off the wall, it looks kind of bad. But the original sink will remain because people overwhelmingly voted to keep that antique sink in there, despite my objection. So we will have a bathroom, we will have a kitchen, however, it'll be used more for display eventually down the road as funding becomes available to do it. And just to clarify things, when we first started using the house, we were just having meetings there and storing some of our collection. And I talked to Mayor Ott about it and explained that if the city doesn't do something soon with the house, it's gonna be beyond the point of repair. He agreed that it'd be great to fix it up, but of course had no money. So the society was able to raise $145,000. And everything is, all the wiring was replaced, all the fixtures rewired. The siding was replaced the way it looked before. The windows looked like the windows that were in there. We actually restored part of the house more to the original 1891 house, and the Softhelds had changed it. So it is a perfect house for a historical society, and the location just cannot be beat. So you're welcome to come in and tell us.
I was just
See what it's like, that's it, get it
the
done.
slippery slope turns into something else.
Understood. Sounds like no action is needed, so let's move into your city manager report.
I had one comment to you, but I think it was Henrietta's wishes that that house would continue to be called the Softfield House, correct?
Right.
Not the Mount Angel Historical Society.
No, if you look at the sign we have made on the front, a nice wooden sign similar to what the city, in fact, I think the same person made this sign that makes the signs for the cities. It says Softfield House. Yeah. Henrietta and her and Elaine Ann really wish the house was used for what it's being used for.
So I'm not hearing any council objections. Okay, thank you.
Speak now. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, a number of things, real quick, so that we can be done as quickly as possible. I received a letter from the American Legion. Post 89 of Mount Angel will conduct Memorial Day services on Monday, May 26th at 9:30 a.m. at Calvary Cemetery. So, please be aware of that. There's tentatively a flyover, possibly helicopters, that have been scheduled for around 10:15-ish.
And a 3 to 5 minute speech by our local mayor.
Awesome.
What time is the flight?
10:15-ish.
Okay,
That's what it says, Bill.
yeah, so.
I just want to say thank you to all those who provided input on our strategic plan. It has been completed. It's a significant step forward and I look forward to perhaps, I think a work session is most appropriate with the council to discuss the plan in either June or July. No, nothing pressing on this, but it will definitely be used as we put together our budget for the next fiscal year. Today, we held a ceremony on West Markham to put up our Purple Heart City sign. It was attended by about 30 people. Pete gave a short speech. It was very well attended, covered by the press. It was awesome to see so many people show up for this little event that I was initially told was going to be Pete, a member of the chamber and a member of the Legion. So it turned from 3 plus a couple other people to 30. So it's a good thing that Charlie and I were both there to control traffic and it kind of went really well. So our first sign is up on West Markham. As mentioned previously, Alan and I worked on, and Alan submitted a request to the Oregon Water Consortium for the full cost for our recommended new reservoir in our water master plan. That plan helped tremendously by providing what was needed to submit for the funding. The actual bills in the legislature, which will be providing the money for this project, are coming before Ways and Means Committee this week in the Oregon legislature, in fact, this Friday. I intend to submit testimony on the value of this opportunity for us. I'm finishing a grant request from the state of Oregon to pay for a refreshment to our parks master plan. The most I can request is $50,000, and so as I'm going through this, it's kind of a little different, but don't be surprised if sometime in the next 10 days I ask you for a signature on a letter of support if I need it. So if I do, I'll let you know. And then finally, the Ebner Park ball field enhancements are nearly complete. We look forward to keeping this field desirable and usable by everyone. This project's been very exciting, along with the repairs to the gazebo. I want to say publicly many thanks for the funds to complete these projects are due to Marion County for the community prosperity grant funds that we've received. So it's really turned out to be a very, very cool project. And gazebo too will be very nice. Although I will tell council that this weekend, you know, I get random text messages from members of the community, and a member of Oktoberfest texted me and sent me a picture of a really nice like place where plays happen and presentations and things like that, and thought that the time for the gazebo to go was now. I said, well, it's interesting that you provide me that picture. I don't know where this is, but we're actually fixing the gazebo. So
Was it attached to a check?
it was not.
Oh, that's unfortunate then.
So, as usual, staff and I are happy to answer any questions that you might have. Just for council's information, Jackie was feeling under the weather tonight and asked if she could forego coming to council. So hopefully she gets better very, very soon.
Question on Ebner, who's responsible for the annual maintenance?
We are.
Keep it good.
Yeah.
Do you have like estimated cost? Top of our head with that?
No, I don't have an estimated cost. Because the most cost was gonna be in getting it rehabbed. But as we move forward, you know, we've bought some special dirt, which goes in ball fields. So after we get everything installed, we'll have a pretty good idea of how much.
All right, well, thank you.
That would
No,
be-
this stuff to us, okay.
And then I hope to enter into an agreement with like Maze, the Mount Eagle Youth Sports Group, for some upkeep and maintenance, so we can perhaps defer cost by having them involved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Buzz.
Any other questions?
I've also got a lot of text messages and people stalking, very excited about Ebner. Looking at fundraising opportunities for youth sports, utilizing that field. My only thing around Ebner that I'd like us to look into is if we do get to the point where they are hosting tournaments. Tournaments are a whole new ballgame that we haven't done before. And the use and abuse of a park for tournaments may require a new line item in our fee schedule.
Yes,
I would love it if we could investigate that prior to our first request.
well, and not only due to the wear and tear of tournaments and things like that, but we've all seen the increase in PGE bills. So more than 18%, most recently. So when we turn on those very, very hot lights, I think that meter is gonna spin very, very fast. So I'm kind of curious to know how much those lights are going to cost. So our PGE bill may go up significantly as well with night games. And the replacement of those lights with LEDs, are very expensive. In fact, the St. Paul Rodeo replaced all of their sodium halide lights or whatever the heck they are. Jack could probably fill me in better. They replaced all their lights with donated lights from PGE Park. So they didn't have to pay for anything, but they are very, very expensive. And if they hadn't received that donation, the St. Paul Rodeo, which makes a lot of money, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, time for our youth advisory report.
So two major things, I got flyers for everybody. So I previously talked about the fun run that we were hosting. I got more information. We are actually hosting it on the 17th of May instead of the 10th due to complications with dates. It'll be at the same time, same place, the JFK track, but just a different date. And I also got more information on the dinner night that I previously mentioned. It's gonna be Wednesday, May 14th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will host bingo at 8:30. And we will be providing tacos, which is gonna be the dinner. It's gonna be $10 for 3 tacos, rice, beans, a beverage, and also a bingo card. And then any additional cards that you would like to purchase will be $2 extra.
That all benefits Sawyer, right?
Yeah, that's it all going to the Zahn family, yes.
Awesome. Counselor Black, anything for your counselor report?
I have nothing, thank you.
Counselor Story? No, you guys really want to go. Counselor Hofer?
I had a couple of questions that were answered in the meeting.
President Eater? See a list in front of you.
So those potholes on Main Street, I know they're not a responsibility, but that one that they painted white but looks like a grate. Is there any way for, I guess that's a state issue? Is there any way that one can get patched?
I'll give them a call.
Or that one's getting terrible. I don't know who put the paint there, but it's terrible.
Where is it? I'm not sure where it is.
Mechanic shop, right?
It's also Angel
Shop.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
in the southbound lane.
in the southbound lane. In front of 76 continues to get deeper and deeper.
Well, it's not as a result of the poor sewer line or the storm line.
No, it's not anywhere we patched.
And then is somebody gonna follow up with Maria and Bev's issues from staff?
I've already sent them certified mail outlining all the calls for service and all the decisions and all the code violations.
On auto?
Yes.
Okay, how about, I think it was Bev over here.
That was the one talking about auto.
Okay, okay, Maria had the flag problem.
Oh, the flag problem. I don't know.
So she must live in the Cam addition probably.
She does.
She doesn't know where
She's
the flags come
the,
from.
she's the second to the last house on Reagan Street.
So what's the cause of flies?
It's probably roofs. And Bruce would say, no, it's a wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, yeah, okay, so.
No, it's the mink manure. But is somebody gonna inform her that's probably what the problem is?
But she's already quite aware of those as the two possibilities.
I mean, everybody fights flies over there. You probably fight flies.
Well, I'll just share for the record, Maria lives one house further away from the roofs and further away from the wastewater treatment plant than I do. And you live further this way than the in-laws do, and they have it as bad or worse than anybody. It would be interesting to know, because we do have an open lagoon. What possibilities are there that are not excessively expensive when we are digging the lagoon out and we are taking care of the lagoon? Is there anything we can do to potentially have some?
So knowing that she was going to be coming to council tonight, I did a little bit of internet research. I printed my own handouts, which say basically the same stuff that she had provided to council tonight, only a little bit more. But I went to the Oregon State University website, extension service. They have a whole page, on this type of activity. Before the council wants to spend a lot of money on having a investigation from somebody who knows what there is to know about this kind of stuff, it might be best to have a conversation with OSU and their extension service and to see what their advice would be and see what services they can provide. As short of, all the reading that I've done, short of spraying some type of pesticide in the area, I'm really not seeing that there's too much that can be done. I would venture to say that with the product that the roof farms / house garden centers are creating with the mink manure and the plants that are being made into mulch for sale at House Garden Center. Between there and the farm itself and then the wastewater treatment plant, there's a lot to be considered there. And I don't want to throw one area or one farm or one entity certainly under the bus, because I don't have enough information to say, but I think by at least contacting Oregon State University and figuring out what our options are before we go off and employ an investigator, I think is the smartest thing to do.
I mean, that our jurisdictions, are they in the city limits?
Yes, who?
The roofs or whatever, that's, then how,
Joe has signs up that, I mean, basically it's a farm and I don't know what the sign says, that they warn people that there could be issues. It faces the new development.
issue though? Is it a city issue now?
No.
Is this becoming a city issue?
Well, they fly into the city, but I'm not saying it's our issue.
Okay, that just be clarified that.
The what is a city issue? Because it's a bunch of houses that when you go to look at buying a house and you're inundated with flies, that kind of stuff. But the why may not be necessarily a city issue if it's not coming from the wastewater treatment plant. However, we are responsible for the wastewater treatment plant. That's how.
But we're not the only.
We're not the only distributor.
We're not the only city with wastewater treatment plant on the edge of the city, so.
No, for sure.
Us to be able to reach out to other cities and get. The flight complaints you have, Moala's is right on the edge of town, I mean.
They also have lagoons.
I mean, for as long as I've lived here, and I don't know, I'm sure flies are attracted to smell, but I can probably count on one hand the times that I've actually smelled our sewer plant going out there. And it just doesn't stink.
We have 1/3 the mink farms that we had 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, is there a fly problem out at the wastewater?
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere.
Maybe you need to put a fence up.
Well, I just live right here down the road and I get, like, I'll leave my garage doors open. Right in there, I mean, it's crazy, but I just put fly strips up and they're gone. So,
It would be nice to know if there is a reasonable opportunity to ensure that we are not contributing to an issue that our citizens are experiencing.
I mean, back in the day, they used to spray for mosquitoes.
Right.
That,
Right.
they don't do it anymore.
No,
Right.
and I am not aware that any communities spray for flies. And the most, most places that even I think do fog for mosquitoes these days are like southern states, the deep southeast United States, where mosquitoes are truly a major problem.
I just wanted to make sure somebody was gonna reach out to her. It sounds like you kind of have informed her.
Yeah, I think we have, since we just wanted council to take note and take action if appropriate. I think that's the thing for us to do is just call them to the extension and see what they have to say.
Anything else?
I do, but I don't.
Alright.
And I have one more thing.
I don't know why everybody's leaving, I still got my report.
You got 3 minutes.
I'm probably gonna steal your thunder maybe a little, I don't know, but since I am still the emergency manager for the city, I've teamed up with Metcom to have a table at JFK High School this Saturday from 11 to 3. And it is the emergency management fair, if you will, by kind of an interesting group, the Oregon Livestock Council.
One second, Mark. Hey, Bill. I'm having a hard time hearing Mark.
Kind of an interesting group, the Northwest Livestock Council, the statewide nonprofit. They're a livestock emergency response team. So they are trying to bring people together to talk about how to respond to livestock emergencies, particularly during major disasters and things like that. So we'll see. They're planning on having a little town hall discussion and things like that, but I wanted to bring somebody from Metcom, be able to talk about emergency messaging and how we treat emergencies and do that kind of thing. And while I'm at it, tell people that our emergency operations plan is going to be completely redone by Marion County this year. They actually already have the grant, they have a consultant, and they actually have our current emergency operations plan. And it will be revisited and rewritten actually this year. So it is in process.
was that because of the 2025 years?
No, that's not, but the county got a grant to rewrite and redo the Marion County Emergency Operations Plan. And that grant provided the ability to then work on all the cities' grants or all the cities' plans. Because they're all reliant on the other, kind of in a step process. So they should all be aligned and saying generally the same thing, but they're going to be doing ours as the city of Mount Angel. So pretty excited about that happening too. And that's not a cost saving. That's all.
Awesome. Well, of my 5, I'm down to 2 left. So, as I was going through it was meeting minutes from previous, we talked about that we had done the travel Oregon or travel Salem advertisement.
Travel Oregon.
Travel Salem.
Travel Salem.
Well, travel Oregon.
Yes, travel Salem. So, and we had discussed the need for more pictures. Do we have a opportunity to reach out as the city, maybe tap Discover Mount Angel in the chamber to help spread the word and do something along the lines of a photo contest?
We can.
For community members, and obviously something that says by submitting, you're agreeing that we get to use it however we want.
We can.
Give the city.
It's just something that I want to do today, I want to do this week. Because
Right.
it won't be until December or January before we're really kind of looking and trying to get stuff together for that.
And this is purely me just going, hey, if we think about it now, we won't go, oh no, I gotta have photos in 2 weeks. The other thing is, and I can't believe Councilor Eater didn't bring it up, we're really waiting to see this new upfitted truck and when it is gonna hit the streets.
Should be this one.
Should be this week, okay, and what are we doing about the public works truck that is become obsolete?
The Ranger, right?
Yep,
Yeah, so I talked to the lady from Ford and it's gonna be in the middle of this month and probably delivered in June.
So are you, and I probably should ask, so are you asking about the Ranger that we currently own? That we've discovered was an unsafe vehicle that I will no longer
Yes.
allow Public Works to drive?
that would be Ranger 1.0, but now that Alan let out, we have Ranger 2.0 coming.
Well, Ranger 2.0 has been coming, that's been in his budget and that's been on order for a while. To get into his fleet so that he can drive that, we'll be moving that pickup, he currently drives out into the fleet and probably moving the main truck somewhere, or Alan's vehicle will be going to the wastewater treatment plant. We'll be moving some stuff. And then there's another vehicle that he's already got in process for the next budget year. But he, like I, gonna have to do what we need to do because the orders for this next run of vehicles is closing very soon. Dodge has already closed theirs, Chevy's already closed theirs. Ford is still, we still have a little bit of time left. But he was able to get in on a state bid F-250 or 350. 350, so that we can get one of our, a new service truck, which is within his budget. So, we got to make some action, take some action, so that we're not left. Okay, great. I'll wait till next order run, which would be at the end of next year.
I was able to get the 2025 instead of having to buy the 26, so. I'm sure that's safe.
Yeah, the prices are going up again dramatically. So getting our fleet vehicle purchased early rather than late is a really important thing.
All right, well, with that, I am going to call us adjourned.